Hi everyone, this is Nia and today I'm going to paint this rainy scene. Someone requested for me to paint rain a while back, so here it is. I'm going to start by masking off the sides. While I mask off the sides, let me just show you the reference image that I used. I found this image quite appealing and I thought it would be fun to recreate the drops of water, which is slowly dripping down the leaves and also whatever is on top of the composition. Now that I've masked the sides and the frame is established, I can start to sketch out the composition. I like the diagonal composition here, but I feel like I can add more leaves in mine, so I'm just going to roughly draw it out. This is just for a rough indication. I'm actually going to almost paint over this, but I find by drawing this out, it helps to bring the idea together in my head personally. However, I understand if some people find this redundant, you can just go ahead and paint it freehand or even do rough thumbnails on a scrap piece of paper before painting it. By drawing it out this way, I can also start to figure out how the leaf will fall on the vines. And if you feel like you want to play around with different leaf shapes, you can go ahead and experiment with it as well. I want the vegetation at the bottom to be less in focus compared to the vines at the top. So again, I'm just going to draw this out roughly, mostly to indicate the spacing. Once I'm happy with how the leaves and vines flow, I'm going to use my masking fluid to mask off the water droplets. You can see in the reference, these droplets are very light compared to everything else. And since I'm going to add some details or reflections to them, I prefer to mask the area instead of using gouache or Blueproof white to add the white dots. These dots are quite small, so I like to squirt a bit of masking fluid on a scrap piece of card or paper, then use my pointy silicone tool to apply these dots. When I'm applying these dots, I don't want them to fall completely vertically down, but you can see that the water falls in different times. So personally, I like to think of vertical lines with some water dripping in different speeds on either side of the vertical line, or sometimes I like to also think about a zigzaggy pattern when I'm applying these dots. And something I like to think about is at the top where the water is a bit more concentrated, these droplets might be touching each other, and the droplets get a bit further apart and lighter as it gets towards the bottom of the page. Okay, I think I have enough. Next, let's go over the colors and wait for the masking fluid to dry. Firstly, I'm going to use Aquarius Green by Szmal, Payne Grey Bluish by Schmincke, and Sepia by Holbein. I'm also going to add additional details with Blueproof White by Dr. P.H. Martins, and a really small black pen as well. This is an ink drawing pen by Snowman and the size is 0.05. As for the masking fluid, this is what I used. This masking fluid is by Marie's. Now let's start to paint. I'm going to start off by dampening the surface for the background. I tried to avoid painting directly on the leaves. However, I feel like since the background is going to be fairly light, even though the value of the color is quite dark, you can still paint on top of it. So I feel like you can also paint over the leaves. However, at this point when I was painting this, I was thinking if I left out a bit of white for the leaves and I paint the green on the white of the paper, the green will be a little bit more vibrant. So it's up to you. You can also experiment on a scrap piece of paper and see what you like. It was a little bit difficult to avoid painting on the leaves accurately, so it doesn't matter too much. But anyway, once I'm done, I'm going to use a medium consistency of Payne Grey Bluish and try to paint in between these leaves on the damp surfaces. While I'm doing this, I also want the background to be a little bit more textured, so maybe some areas have a little bit of a thicker consistency, whereas other parts are lighter. And since you can see in the reference, there's a little bit of bokeh going on, I like to try to draw circles that I'm going to leave white and just let the paint somewhat travel on its own. Those circles might not be circles anymore, but I feel like this helps to create the uneven texture that I'm looking for. When I'm using the reference image here, I just try to get the idea or the basic essence of the composition. So here, instead of trying to recreate it accurately, you can see that mine looks very messy compared to the reference. That's because I'm just trying to create an uneven background for now. I feel like I've covered a pretty good amount of the background, but most of the areas are quite light, so I'm using a slightly thicker consistency to just dot in a slightly darker value of Payne's Gray Bluish while the surface is still a touch damp. I quite like the distribution of darker values for now, and you can see that the surface is still damp, so I'm going to take advantage of it and take a little bit of Aquarius green and dot it in random areas. This will just indicate that there are some greeneries in the background as well, but it's very blurry and you can't really see it, and it's just a very subtle change in hue. Now I've rolled up a bit of tissue and I'm taking off some paint with the tip of this tissue. This is to help with the bokeh effect. Since Payne's Gray Bluish is a dark color already, I'm not going to overwork it. I don't want the background to be too dark compared to the leaves in the foreground. So I'm going to move on and paint the silhouette of the rocks at the top and the bottom of the composition. For the color, I used a mix of sepia and Payne's Gray Bluish to create an almost black color. But before I reach the bottom, I'm going to switch to Aquarius green to suggest that there are some blurred greeneries very close or even touching these rocks. For the leaves at the bottom, I decided to mix a little bit of that black mixture into the Aquarius green. This way the color is a little bit darker and a bit more muted compared to the leaves at the top, which I want to be the focal point or part of the focal point of this painting. Next, I'm going to start to paint the leaves on the vines. For this, I've switched to a smaller brush because I want the leaves to be a bit more accurately painted compared to the leaves at the bottom. I'm trying to figure out the angle of the leaves as well as where they're facing and such, and I want to make sure that the shape of the leaves somewhat makes sense. I like to also take into consideration where the leaves are placed in terms of where they are in the vines to make sure that I can connect them all together. For some of the leaves on the sides as well as the top, I tried to use the darker green mixture even though it's not as dark as the leaves at the bottom. Then for the leaves at the center of the composition, I tried to use a non-contaminated version of Aquarius green so the color is a little bit more vibrant. Since I like to play with the angle of the leaves, I'm going to add some leaves facing the side as well, which will be thinner. At the top, I feel like it looks quite flat, so I'm going to paint another layer of leaves, and I'm using a really dark green here, which is a mixture of all three colors, and I'm also using quite a thick consistency. Then near the rocky area at the top, again to make it look less flat, I'm just going to add some random textures. However, I don't want the details to take away from the focal point. The texture should be quite subtle. Here I'm just going to clean out some white parts I can see in between the leaves if I've left out a bit too much, and I'm just using a very thin consistency of Payne's Grey Bluish. There's quite a lot going on for the top, so now I'm going to move back to the bottom of the composition. I'm going to add another layer of the darker leaves. Again, this is from the same dark green color, but just in a thicker consistency. For this part though, I'm just painting mostly silhouettes, and sometimes I like to enhance the greeneries or the leaves that I painted earlier by adding shadows to the sides of those leaves. Again though, I'm trying to be very subtle with this so it doesn't take away from the focal point at the center of the composition. I feel like I have enough depth here, so I'm going to go back to the vines of the leaves. I've switched to my dagger brush here since I can paint really thin lines to add on the details for the midribs as well as to paint the stems or the vines of these leaves. You can also use a size 0 brush or a liner brush for this. I personally like the dagger brush because I find that the difference in weight can look quite organic. Now that I've connected all the leaves together, I can see some bald spots, so I'm just going to make the leaves look a bit more dense by adding some smaller ones with my small round brush. Going back to my dagger brush now, I'm going to add a little bit more detail to these leaves. For the ones in the middle, if they're large enough, I like to add a midrib as well as some of the veins of the leaves. And since the dagger brush can paint really fine lines, I feel like if I use a medium to light consistency, the veins will look subtle enough. I'm also going to line some of the sides of the leaves, and this will just add a little bit of thickness to these leaves. I'm going to darken the bottom part as well because it's too light compared to everything else and it looks kind of glaring and taking away the attention from the top. I feel like I have enough details for the leaves, so now I'm going to move back to clean the bouquet pattern in the background. I'm just using a light consistency of Payne's Grey Bluish here to outline some of the circles that I can see, just to neaten out the edges. Then I'm going to use a clean damp brush to smudge and soften the edges. The bokeh is failing because there are only a few dots. So now I'm going to add another layer of it using a light consistency of bleed proof white, and I've added a little bit of Payne's Gray Bluish just so the white looks a bit more transparent and subtle. With that little bit of addition, I feel like the background looks a bit more organic now. So next I'm going to dry everything off so I can take off the masking fluid. So here it is, nice and light. Next, I'm going to clean out the ones that I feel looks a little bit weird. On the left, the shape looks odd, so I just smudge the surrounding color. Then for the rest of the water droplets, I decided to use a really light gray color. This is from a mix of Payne's Gray Bluish and Sepia in a very light consistency. And I like to paint a slight outline to these blobs. It doesn't have to go all the way around each circle. Sometimes I like to just do a side. For some of the larger blobs, I like to go back in with a slightly thicker consistency just to add a little bit more detail. Remember that the color of the water is not white. The white that we're leaving here are just highlights on the water droplets, but the rest are reflection of the surrounding colors, which is why I've decided to use that really light gray. With reflections, sometimes there are really dark areas, and I find it's much easier to add on little dots and details using my pen. So I have much more control. If you want though, you can use a really thick consistency of the same color mixture using your brush as well if you feel like you have pretty good control. The black lines and dots should follow the curvature of these droplets, and you can see the definition it brings. Even when we're not doing full outlines, it also helps to make the water droplets look a bit more convincing. Lastly, I'm going to add some really subtle rain texture. I'm just painting really thin lines using a light consistency of bleed proof white. Again, you can also mix in a bit of Payne's Gray Bluish into the bleed proof white so it doesn't look too white compared to everything else. Just going to add a few more details, and that's it. I'm going to unmask the sides once I'm happy with everything. Couple more peels, and this is basically the finished painting. This turned out more fun than I anticipated. I enjoyed painting the water droplets as well as the background so much. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed it and learned something new, please consider subscribing for more content every week. Like usual, the list of tools as well as my social media links will be in the description box. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!